Good afternoon to all. It has been such a horrendous experience for the whole year to be traveling on the public transportation, also on private transportation. You cannot get public transportation coming as often as you would like it. I understand that the PM says she's ordering 30 more buses. I would like to know each time these buses are being ordered. But yet, for the first maybe 3 months, it might mark an improvement on adequate buses on the road. After that, buses just seem to be at will, just break down and then right back to shortage again. This has been going on from the time I've been a child. You know, just it has to stop. Now, my assumption is, and my belief is, that it also has a lot to do with management. This has nothing to do now with the minister because he cannot regulate how the buses go on the road. It has to do with supervisors that are sending these buses out. Now, if I'm correct, there was a company, a maintenance company called Nihal, if I'm correct, if that's the right name of the company that the transport board had repairing buses. Okay? And for some reason, I believe under Michael Ashley, this has all come to an end. And then they start getting parts, and it felt it was cheaper to get parts from Trinidad. Because simple, from my investigation, the Barbados government at the time, and even present, just refused to pay those mechanics for their work. You cannot have mechanics working. And I've spoken to a few that told me that's all the problem was. All the problem was is that they were repairing the buses, and when it come time for money, for payment, for them to feed their families, the money was not coming forward. Okay, and became difficult because the then minister felt it was more important to give the work to another company in Trinidad rather than to give Barbadians work. And we continue to suffer for lack of effective transportation publicly owned by government. We have suffered throughout the years for this. Now, I believe, in all honesty, if you set an example, set a precedent to those um, transport board transport board inspectors, those in charge of the transport board sending out buses, you just need to take the fight to them and let them know it has to stop as a minister and say to them, look, get these buses on the road on time or I will fire a few of you. And do not fire those to the bottom. Start with the top. If you start with the top, yes, you may have to pay them out, pay the severance out. Do that. If you don't stop and make some drastic measures and stop talking, Barbados is nothing. Is a country that just loves to talk. And if you want a perfect example of talking, just check Mayor Motley. She knows how to talk and deliver very little. We have to have a proper transportation system running in Barbados. And I believe if you start to fire a few of those top officials in transport board, just one or two, and don't give a damn about paying out their severance, the rest will get the message, get the work done, get the buses working, put pressure on the transport on the minister to resume the mechanics here in Barbados to do the work and get the parts, because we can no longer Barbadians suffer like this. not being able to get to work on time, children on the road all hours of the morning rather than being in school because they're waiting on transportation and transportation is not there. It has to stop. Barbados need to stop talking so much and start with some action. I'm tired of the talking in Barbados and very little action. I thank the Marshall Week show so much because she not only showed that she can gather people together to do things rather than talk. Marcia Week show is all about action and get things done. We're not going to worry. You don't worry about what people are going to say after. It's about taking action to improve the system. There's one thing I know, like you got rush hour, and I believe having lived overseas for a number of years and seeing the school children have their own transportation. They have separate buses from the regular buses to take them to and from school. So there's one solution I have to offer. If they want to take something away from the American system, have private transportation assigned every morning to pick up and go and deliver to school, go back to the school on evenings and deliver these children back to a certain destination near their homes, okay, at their bus stops where they will catch their bus on morning, deliver them back there. And that would be one way of making sure those children get to school on time. And no child, does not matter how much a parent says, oh, but only minibus come down here. Listen, they will find a way to catch that private transportation to get to school. Under no certain, we have to start making some drastic measures in this country. If not, we are losing Barbados. We are losing Barbados to a generation that cares nothing. And mind you, there are some people who are still trying to uphold Barbados and keep our heads above the ground. We have Shaquana, we have Theory, and we have a number of young people that still can carry us forward. But we cannot let them be overshadowed by those who are going to continue to bring us down. Children catching our normal public transportation and PFCs need to stop and let the government decide to pay private transportation persons that have their own vehicle who will say, well, I would take on morning time, I would take my vehicle, I would pick up children at such a point, take them to the destination of school. So each school will have a particular driver or drivers, because we're going to take more than one, and that is going to increase employment for many drivers. A driver will have a bus. He will take those children to school, and at the end of the month or end of the week, they know they can go at a particular establishment and pick up their money for their week's worth. And that will eliminate having children catching the private and public transportation, having working citizens not being able to get to work on time and give them enough room, and those buses will not be so full. So on that note, as far as transportation is concerned, that is one solution I have of dealing with the children to get them to school and from school. If you want to adopt something from America, transportation dealing with school children, that is one. And the other is, if you want to have buses kept on the road, bring back, or mechanics or local mechanics to repair these buses and pay them on time. Why is it that you do not ever hear, as far as I can recall, since 1966, a politician complains his money is not there? I have never heard of it. 50 years and I've never heard of a politician complains his money is late and going to the bank. Yet we have doctors, nurses, teachers not getting their money on time. And these are critical people in the island. So, until further information and conclusion to bringing some kind of stability to transportation in Barbados, I regard you, Forte.